Hi, thank you very much for having me here. It's really interesting to meet you all in person after we already met online for some marketing sessions. And I was always participating and saying, unfortunately, in Luxembourg, we are not yet there. We will get there, hopefully, but it's now coming true. DAB Plus will launch on the 1st of December, so a Monday in a week from now. So to start with, we are in 2025. All of Europe is covered by DAB+. As a standard for digital radio broadcasting, all of Europe, no. One small country in the heart of Europe still isn't using DAB+. And in the introduction you heard, Luxembourg, and especially the company I'm representing, is known for being a pioneer in media and also in radio business. But with DAB+, we weren't really a thing to follow. This is an old slide where you can see how it all started in 1923. Radio Luxembourg was born, so more than 100 years ago. And we were pioneers not only on radio but also on TV, but we lost a little of that momentum in the last, let's say, 20 years, where we didn't just follow up with everything that was possible. This is going to change. This slide misses two minor things. We rebranded. We became unified as RTL Group became, so our logo changed, and in 2025, finally, we will get to DAB+. Before we get there, a little historic situation of what we have, the current FM situation. There are mostly three big stations broadcasting from Luxembourg. RTL Radio Luxembourg, which is the Luxembourgish station which I'm working for, broadcasting on two frequencies and covering the whole country, and Radio 100,7, which is the public broadcaster, also covering on two frequencies the entire country. And we have the German RTL service, which has an international frequency, or two even, that go into Rheinland-Pfalz on 92.0 and 93.3 that goes more into the Saarland region for Germany. The program itself is being produced in Berlin, but still being broadcast from Luxembourg. Besides those three stations, we also have four what we call regional networks. They are not covering the entire country. It's only the big majority of where the population lives, the biggest one being Eldo Radio, the music station, the younger using station, music station. Then we have L'Essentiel Radio, which is a French-speaking radio station already available on FM right now. We have Radio Latina, which is more for the Portuguese community. As you might know, in Luxembourg, we have a big foreign community. Like half of the population is a foreign population. And among them, the Portuguese community is by far the strongest. And to cover all the other communities, we have ARA, Radio ARA, which is a community radio and community-driven. And as we already had this, the congestion that we talked about in Estonia, it's also true for our FM stations. There are conflicts for some of them that clash with Classic 21 from Belgium, with SR3 from Germany. So this is mostly Radio Latina that has that situation. Radio Latina has it on SWR3 and also with Energie from Belgium. So FM being congested, we couldn't deploy more stations or more frequencies on FM. The final logical step was to move to DAB+. Those are also local stations we have. They only cover small parts of the country, and they also have the situation where foreign stations, as Luxembourg is so small, and they have a higher power to broadcast, so they sometimes in some regions where you could listen to them, you are not getting the signal as strong as you should. We are not as fast as Estonia was. We had a test run with DAB Plus in 2020. The idea was to see how and if Luxembourg could be covered with DAB Plus. Obviously, the answer is yes, it can. And it took us more than 5 years to get it ready. So in 2025, we are finally launching DAB Plus in Luxembourg. This is an official slide of the BCE, the Broadcast Center Europe. They are providing the technical solution for the broadcasting of DAB Plus. They are not a content provider. This is more part of the company I come from. But as you can see, they adopted the DAB Plus May Radio, which is the more radio, which is a message that's already been used in other countries as well for marketing. And this is also done together with the Ministry of State. They have a department of media, connectivity, and digital politics and media also, so that are driving the implementation of DAB+, and that's one of the reasons it took us so long. The regulation that had to be put in place, the legislation, even after the test run in 2020, it took 4 years to get the legislation in place. The deployment will take place in 2 phases. So starting on Monday, the 1st of December, there will be 3 transmitter sites ready to broadcast the signals for the stations, the new services, and also the old services that will be on that multiplex. And in the second phase, we will add more transmitters. Here you see what's going to happen Monday in a week. It's already on air now as we are testing, but there are still interruptions, so those will be over by the 1st of December. 3 transmitters reaching in mobility 98.9% of the population. Indoor reception is not yet so good, and you still see there are some blue spots in the country, which will be covered by the end of next year when we add 6 more transmitters. So to make sure most of the country is covered, there are still some valleys that we will simply not be able to cover, neither in DAB+ nor with FM, given the topology or the topography of the country. But as you can see, mobility is the thing we try to reach. 99.9% by the end of next year will be what we have, as 60% of radio consumption in Luxembourg, like in most countries, is being done in cars. So this is the aim, the principal aim. Indoor reception cannot be guaranteed given the way buildings are built nowadays with isolation and everything. Radio waves, it's getting harder and harder for radio waves to get into the buildings, so we cannot guarantee close to 100% deployment. These are the stations that already exist on FM that will also be broadcast on DAB+. We will, from 7 stations, we will go up to 12 stations in total. There are, like Floener Radio and L'Or FM, 2 stations from France that will join the multiplex in Luxembourg. Nostalgie is the program from Belgium, from the French-speaking part of Belgium, that will also join the Luxembourg multiplex. They will also add news for the Luxembourg region, so it's not just the signal coming from Belgium, it's really a plus they are offering. We have Opus 100.7. This is a new program from the public broadcaster that only features classical music, something we didn't have until now. And you might have seen it on the slide before with the history of RTL, RTL Today Radio, which was a web radio we launched in 2022. It will also go to DAB+, as it is a service in English language. So we have part of the European communities in Luxembourg, the European Investment Bank, the European Court, and so on. So English is the language that's common between all the people for the European community. The Amazon headquarters for Europe are also in Luxembourg, so it's necessary to also offer a program in Luxembourg to cover the entire population that lives there. So we try to get national coverage in mobility, 9 transmitters, as I already showed you, and DAB+ is destined to be a high resilient network in case of a national crisis. That doesn't mean that we will have the alert we already saw in other countries, at least not for the moment, but DAB+ has to be on air, come whatever comes, so that the population can be informed over DAB+ by the stations, what's currently happening and what the next steps should be. And the license is valid for 10 years, like for most regulations. I think that's nothing new, what we will have in Luxembourg. Of course, we will provide slideshows on DAB+. You see examples for 2 stations, Elder Radio. These are the examples we used during the test run in 2020. And what you see for RTL is what is currently in place for the test run now before the official launch. This might still change until the 1st of December. The local stations are currently in talks with the regulator and also with the government to find another solution for them, building a second multiplex that they could use with only local stations. I know from Belgium there was a situation with the tunnels in Brussels that took some time to get DAB+ into those tunnels. The good news is in Luxembourg the tunnels are already equipped for DAB+. The bad news is it's not handled by BCE, but by the Administration of Streetworks, and as I'm speaking now, they are not yet operational, even though the entire DAB+ multiplex is running for tests. So we will see if this will be ready for the 1st of December. Marketing, there will be an official site that's going to be launched by the ministry. For the time being, it might be the address dab.lu because dab+.lu had been reserved by someone else, and that person wanted some money and not sure it was paid. So we will see by the 1st if that site will be ready. I've seen that there's now a login in place on dab+.lu, so I think something is happening there too. The marketing, I can only speak about what's going to happen at RTL, as I don't know what my competitors are doing. I know from the ministry that they will do a poster campaign on bus stops and tram stops and so on. RTL is doing a banner on our homepage, and we have a landing page with information and articles about what DAB+ is, how you can receive it, if you really need to buy a new car, if you want to capture DAB+, which obviously you don't have to do. So this is all we are going to do starting next week. Yes, you see a mock-up of what we are going to do as a promotion on our applications and also on TV. And finally, we are also going to the cinemas with a small spot that's going to air in cinemas stating RTL now also available on DAB+, or RTL Today Radio now new on DAB+, is the main message. Unfortunately, I can't show you the real stuff because I only got it this morning. If you're interested, I can show you later on. I have them on my mobile phone. Oh, there's a mock-up. I didn't know. So this is what's going to be shown in the cinemas starting on the 1st of December when we are ready. Next week we will start with a campaign telling people that DAB+ is coming, that it's going to launch on the 1st of December, and then we will go on throughout our medias telling people that DAB+ is now there to stay, hopefully.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.